Money in the Bank is less than 3 weeks away, and it's around that time when we start to question who will win the briefcase. Today we're going to take a look at the possible winners for each ladder match, but if you guys enjoy the video, please be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more wrestling content. At the time of this recording, so far we have Jey Uso, Chad Gable, Carmelo Hayes, and Andrade all qualified for the men's ladder match. And for the women's ladder match, we have Io Sky, Lyra Valkyria, and Chelsea Green, with 3 more qualifying matches taking place this upcoming Friday, and 2 more qualifying matches taking place the following Monday. As for who will probably win the matches on SmackDown, I actually think Santos Escobar will pick up the win in his match with Logan Paul and LA Knight. I think Tiffany Stratton will pick up the win in her match with Jade Cargill and Candice LeRae, and I think Naomi will pick up the win in her match with Blair Davenport and Indy Hartwell. Though I could see WWE trying to showcase Blair Davenport since she's new on the main roster, so she's a huge possibility to win as well. As for the Escobar, Logan Paul, and LA Knight triple threat qualifying match though, I can't see either Knight or Paul winning since they're feuding with each other, so I think Escobar will somehow take advantage of that and get a sneak win, especially when you take into consideration that Andrade is in the Money in the Bank as well. I think WWE could set up a mini feud between Andrade and Escobar. So these people are who I think makes the most sense to win on SmackDown, but as for Raw, I think Drew McIntyre will beat Dragunov and Sheamus in their qualifying match, and for the women's, honestly, it could go to any of these women. And if it were up to me, I'd have Dakota win. However, something tells me that Ivy Nile will win. So if all my predictions are correct, we're looking at Jey Uso, Chad Gable, Drew McIntyre, Carmelo Hayes, Andrade, and Santos Escobar for the men's Money in the Bank. And for the women's Money in the Bank, we have Io Sky, Lyra Valkyria, Ivy Nile, Chelsea Green, Tiffany Stratton, and Naomi. Now comparing both matches, I can't help but feel a bit underwhelmed by the men's ladder match because it's very predictable. If you guys couldn't already tell, the briefcase is 100% going to Jey Uso. Now predictability isn't always bad, but when you have someone in a match like Money in the Bank who is the only logical one to win, it does feel a bit disappointing when it doesn't give you any room to question or to guess who could win. All the other competitors in the ladder match are incredible wrestlers, I'm not denying that, but when you look at their current position on the card, there's no way any of them other than Jey is big enough to become world champion yet, except for Drew. But it's safe to say that CM Punk will once again screw him over in the ladder match. Now I understand the briefcase holder has up to a year to cash in, but I don't think someone like Carmella was going to be world champion anytime soon within the next year, and Santos Escobar and Andrade are 2 more guys who's 100% not going to win either, and are just in it to get all the flashy high flying spots in to make it a very good match, which it no doubt will be. Then with Drew, as I said, he'll probably get screwed over by CM Punk, which will be very interesting to see how the Toronto crowd will react, because the last time CM Punk was in Toronto was when he was still in AEW and performed at the Forbidden Door pay-per-view, where he was completely booed out of the building.
I would like to make this short and sweet. As the team captain, I take full responsibility for the loss, but I want you all to know, even though I lose sometimes, I'm going to keep on coming back and fighting, just like your Toronto Maple Leafs.
And lastly, for Chad Gable, I don't really think he'll be winning either, as it looks like he's going to be dealing with the Wyatt Six throughout the summer. I just think Jey is simply the only logical choice here, especially because he has absolutely no rivalries going on at the moment, and nothing really going on in general. WWE have recently been promoting Jey with poster art of him holding a briefcase saying Yeet in the Bank. And if you guys think WWE is going to miss out on a custom Jey Uso Yeet in the Bank briefcase to be put on the WWE shop, I think you'd be mistaken. Those would sell like crazy on WWE shop. If it were up to me, I would have put the briefcase on either Finn Balor or LA Knight. Finn Balor winning would have created this really fun dynamic between him and the current world champion, Damian Priest. And LA Knight winning would just feel big and would feel like LA Knight is finally getting something big in his WWE career. Plus on top of that, if he manages to defeat Logan Paul for the US Championship, it would be very cool if he was US Champ as well as Mr. Money in the Bank, just like The Miz was. But as for the women's Money in the Bank though, that one's a little bit more unpredictable. I could see Chelsea Green winning it, as she'd be in her home country of Canada, and maybe Triple H will finally want to push her as she's pretty popular with fans. But I think she's going to be used as the one who comes close to winning, just like LA Knight was last year, and WWE will tease the Toronto crowd that their favorite Canadian female wrestler will win, only to get pushed off the ladder or something. Io Sky could go back-to-back years in winning Money in the Bank, and I think most fans would welcome that, especially with Io becoming more and more psychotic and crazy as of late. And it's not like we haven't seen back-to-back Money in in the Bank winners before, of course with CM Punk going back-to-back in 2008 and 2009. It's been a long time since then, and it would be a cool accomplishment for Io to be the first woman and second ever wrestler to go back-to-back. Lyra Valkyria is still way too new to win, and it would very much be like when Austin Theory won Money in the Bank, which was a huge mistake. Vince McMahon pretty much set Austin Theory up for failure with that move. Naomi and Ivy Nile, if they truly are going to be in Money in the Bank, are just there to make the match very good, but unfortunately don't have actual potential to win in my opinion. Who I think will ultimately win, however, is Tiffany Stratton. Now you could also make the argument that she's too new as well, but she still has a couple of months on Lyra from when she debuted, and her character is just tailor-made for Money in the Bank. I think it'll be a situation where she has the briefcase for almost the entire year, before maybe cashing in early next year on who I think will be the women's champion at that point, Charlotte Flair, which will get us to WrestleMania 41, where I do think Charlotte will take on Tiffany Stratton. With Nia Jax, the queen of the ring, I unfortunately don't see Bayley walking out of SummerSlam as champion. And who else calls herself the queen of WWE? That's of course Charlotte. All fingers point to Charlotte beating Nia for the championship at some point before WrestleMania season, and with Tiffany Stratton and Nia Jax forming this friendship that's bleeding onto TV, it would make that much more sense that Tiffany would cash in on Charlotte. So Jey Uso and Tiffany Stratton are who I think will become Mr. and Mrs. Money in the Bank this year, and I would love to hear your guys' thoughts in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and once again, if you enjoyed the video, please hit a like and hit subscribe. Thanks, and take care.